All right, welcome. Today, we are taking a journey into the wild Northwest Highlands of Scotland. We're going to explore a mountain that a lot of people say is the most spectacular and maybe the most formidable in all of Britain, An Teallach.
Now that is a huge claim, right? But it's one you hear over and over again from people who've spent their lives on the hills. An Teallach isn't just a hike. It's a full-on experience that has absolutely earned its legendary reputation. So what is it that makes this mountain so special?
Well, to really get a handle on this mountain, you've got to look at its identity. Its whole character is kind of forged not just in its rock, but in its wild location, and believe it or not, even in its ancient name.
So the name itself, An Teallach, comes from Scottish Gaelic, and it means the forge or the anvil. And honestly, it's the perfect name. It just completely captures what this place feels like, this formidable, raw landscape, so often wrapped in a smoke-like mist that it really does look like some kind of giant celestial blacksmith's workshop.
You'll find this beast deep in the wilderness of Wester Ross, way up in the Northwest Highlands. And see, An Teallach isn't just one single peak. No, it's this incredibly complex massif made of ancient Torridonian sandstone. It's famous for its almost layered, terrace sides, its deep, plunging gullies, and a whole collection of breathtakingly sharp, rocky crests.
Okay, so let's try and get a sense of the sheer scale we're talking about here. This is so much more than one or two peaks. It's like an entire mountain range all packed into one single massive structure.
Now in Scotland, if you're into hiking, you know all about Munros. They're mountains over 3,000 feet, and climbing them all is a huge lifetime goal for many. An Teallach, well, it officially has two of these prize summits right on its main ridge.
The very highest point is Bidein a Thuill, clocking in at 1,062 meters, but right behind it is the incredibly sharp peak of Sgùrr Fiona. And you know, a lot of people would argue that Sgùrr Fiona is actually the more spectacular, more dramatic of the two. It's just stunning.
But here's the real kicker. The two Munros are just the start. The entire An Teallach Massif has a staggering 10 distinct summits that are all over 3,000 feet. 10. That incredible concentration of high peaks on one mountain is what makes it a true giant.
So anyone who's planning a trip here has a really big choice to make right from the get-go. There are two very, very different ways to experience An Teallach, and it all comes down to your skill, your experience, and frankly, your appetite for adventure.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got what you could call the hiker's path. And let me be clear, this is an incredible day out on its own. A steep, tough climb that gets you to both Munro's summits and gives you these amazing views all without the terrifying drops. But then, there's the other option. For the really experienced mountaineers, there is the legendary full ridge traverse. We're talking a serious grade 3 scramble. You're using your hands, you have to be totally comfortable with heights, and it's widely considered one of the very best in all of Britain.
And really, it's this traverse that sets An Teallach apart from almost every other mountain. For those who have the skill and the nerve, it is a day of high-altitude drama that you will just never, ever forget. Let's break down what you're up against.
The fun begins pretty much immediately, with an obstacle known simply and kinda ominously as the bad step. This is a very tricky, extremely exposed little section that for many people requires a rope. It's a serious test right from the start.
Once you get past that, you're faced with the Corrag Bhuidhe pinnacles. This is the heart and soul of the scramble. It's this series of jagged sandstone spires that gives you about 600 meters of absolutely exhilarating scrambling. We're talking high exposure, meaning massive, sheer drops on either side of you as you pick your way up, down, and around these incredible rock towers.
And the climax of the whole ridge? That would be reaching Lord Berkeley's seat. It's this spectacular, overhanging pinnacle that just juts out into thin air with a sheer, dizzying drop right down to the valley floor. The legend goes that its namesake used to sit right on the edge, smoking his pipe with his legs dangling over the abyss.
Yeah, you just can't overstate the feeling of exposure here. As one climber said, just getting to the seat can be utterly terrifying, even if you're a seasoned mountaineer. It's a place that commands your absolute respect.
But listen, after all that struggle, the steep climbs, the heart-in-your-mouth scrambling, you get the reward, and the views from the top of An Teallach are consistently ranked among the very best in all of Britain, period.
From up there, you're treated to this breathtaking panorama. You can look out across the remote Fisherfield Mountains, an area people call the Great Wilderness. And on a clear day, you can see all the way out to the Summer Isles, just sparkling like jewels in the Atlantic. It's just incredible.
So, if you're feeling inspired and ready to go, that's awesome. But it's so important to understand that a day on An Teallach is a really serious undertaking. You have to plan carefully and be prepared.
First things first, be ready for a very long day. Depending on which route you take, your fitness, and how much time you just spend staring at the views, a full circuit is going to take you anywhere from 8 to 10 hours, and sometimes even longer. And this is not just a simple walk, You have to be ready for that classic, unpredictable Scottish weather, where clouds can just roll in out of nowhere. Then there's the serious exposure on the ridge, the fact that there's not much water once you get up high, and of course, at the start and end of your day, you'll be greeted by the infamous Scottish midges.
So in the end, An Teallach gives you everything: drama, raw, wild beauty, and a profound challenge. It's a day that will test you, it'll reward you, and it will stick with you forever. It really is the Forge of the Highlands, a place that shapes unforgettable memories. The only question it leaves you with is, how on earth do you top that?